Then there is the whole idea of that you're telling a tale. Television teaches us that people watch television because they love the stories. They either love the fictional stories, so that's why we watch situation comedies or we watch dramas, but we like real life stories as well too. We watch the news because the news tells us what the real stories of the real people in our world are doing. And newscasters even talk about it. Our next story is, even though it's a live, real thing that's happening. So stories are the reason why people like to watch, and we want to leverage that psychologically in a way that helps you connect deeper with your viewer. Where you want to weave this in, this isn't necessarily the fourth step in the process. You can connect your tale either to the trouble or you connect your tale to the tip. So how it might sound if you connect it to the trouble is that you tell the story of someone else who also is struggling with the thing that you want to talk about today. So that might sound like, for example, I have a client who is struggling figuring out how to ask her boss for a raise because she's afraid that he's going to think that she's greedy. And so it's making her nervous. She's not sure how to position it. I might now talk about the rest of my episode is going to be how to ask your boss for a raise. But I've explained the topic of my video through articulating the trouble. Here's the trouble that a real client of mine actually has, and then I'm going to tell you how I've actually helped a real client of mine. And what that taps into not only is that you're telling a story and the audience gets invested in the problem of your client and, oh, what happened to that poor woman that was too afraid to ask, did she get the raise? What happened? Now you're curious about that. So it keeps you wanting to watch the show and the episode. It credentializes you by tapping into a psychological tool of influence that's called social proof. Now, without having to say, I've helped thousands of clients and I can help you too, you're communicating that you've helped someone, therefore you are going to be able to help the viewer as well. So it gives you credibility when you talk about it that way. And you can also tell a story when you're giving the tip. So what we did together was I said, all right, why don't you list all of the accomplishments that you've done in the last year on a piece of paper? And so she did that. She had a whole list of 17 different things that she had actually contributed to the company that she's working for. And the question I asked her was, all right, if you look at this list of 17 accomplishments and you imagine that someone else did them and not you, do you think that that person deserves a raise? And she's like, oh my God, yeah. Well then, you're not being greedy. That person deserves a raise. That person happens to be you. You should go ask your boss for a raise. So when I tell it as the story, the tip of write down all of your accomplishments and see if a person like that would deserve a raise now has more weight because I've told it as the tale and I've wrapped that into my tip. So the more that you can tell stories of success of people that you've helped with whatever your tool is for your business, the more you build your credibility and your likability. Someone else likes you and trusts you, therefore the viewer then wants to like you and trust you as well.